Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to continue Mariah Carey's album cycle with her sixth album, Butterfly. Now, there were some expectations ahead of this, given that Daydream was a highly successful album, even though she didn't win the Grammy. But around this time, Mariah's marriage with Tommy Mottola was coming to an end. They filed for separation and eventually divorced by decade's end. And this album is a transitional album for Mariah, as the butterfly has a deep meaning to her. According to Mariah, it symbolizes liberation, metamorphosis, and finding her voice and freedom. Hence why there's a butterfly tattoo on her mid-back. Alright, enough of the background. Let's get into this album. Before we begin, if you want to see music bios or more good videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Also, I've started a Patreon account. On here you get more copyrighted material and they'll be uploaded 48 hours prior to YouTube. If you want to support or visit, link is in the description. And without further ado, on to our feature presentation. Recognizable song on the album. I remember placing this in my top 10 best songs of 1997, so I'll keep this one brief. I also remember highlighting that the remix made the list over the original, as it featured The Lox, Mace, and produced by the Baby Oil Messiah. The song uses the Hey DJ sample. There's not much else for me to add. It's a standout single from Butterfly, but it's not my favorite on the album, and we'll get into that. This song is one of Mariah Carey's personal favorites, because around this time, Mariah and Tommy Mottola had separated and she felt free. She was once a caterpillar with Tommy Mottola, but now she's a butterfly and free. She did say in the song that reconciliation was possible, and if true, then the love was authentic, but that didn't happen, and for good reason. Vocally, it's one of her best performances to date. Again, it meant a lot to her, but in all, I have no major issues with this one. Another single, and this one's set to have some Latin influences. I can hear a few of them, but it's just a stripped down Longing for Your Lover song. Even though it's a good song, I don't have much else to add. It's a typical Mariah Carey ballad that's only good. The first thing that comes to mind was that Mobb Deep sample. Turns out this song is about Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees because they allegedly shared a kiss on the top of a rooftop. And this is Mariah channeling her hip hop, and this one actually surprisingly works, mostly on the sample. Again, not much to the content, but I do feel like Mariah meshed with the sample very well. This one is also very solid. This one features one of her finer performances on the album, and to match the production, because this one's also very easy on the ears. Another song where the content is very minimalistic. In fact, it's too minimalistic to be considered a 4th of July staple. But again, easy on the ears, it's fine enough. It was between this and Honey as my favorite song of the album, and it's very close. But I think this was the first song I enjoyed on Butterfly prior to me listening to the album, of course. Surprisingly how well Bone Thugs and Mariah meshed, and it won't be the last time that they'll collab. The content is Mariah dealing with a breakup. She's trying to move on, but she can't. Where Bone Thugs come in, they try to explain to Mariah that they didn't mean to hurt, but it's necessary for them to move on for the sake of their health. This song is produced by the Baby Oil Messiah, and it doesn't use a sample, a very rarity for him. The song is fantastic, should have been a single. Screw you, Tommy Mottola, on not making that happen. Now we have a Missy Elliott production, and I wish this song worked. Mariah's obsessing over her partner who isn't calling in. She's willing to wait till 3:27 in the morning for him, and there's a reference to that. Wanting to be someone's baby doll so he could wrap you up, that's a choice. But all in all, production might save this, but I don't have much else for this one. Close My Eyes is another Mariah favorite because it's one of her personal cuts yet. This song could possibly talk about her upbringing or her relationship with Tommy Mottola, perhaps both. But the reason I say it could be both because Mariah had a rough upbringing and the relationship with Tommy Mottola took a toll on her mental health. But other than that, it's a Mariah ballad that does tug at the heartstrings. Another one where the issues are minuscule. Now there are two different versions to this one. One solo and one with Brian McKnight. I decided to listen to them both and I came to the conclusion the Brian McKnight version is better because the song was supposed to be a breakup song. We get both sides, and I think that key change emphasizes this because solo, it's not as powerful. Instead, but on production, this reminds me of I Don't Want to Cry a little bit. But since I Don't Want to Cry is a solid song, I could call this song fine. But my verdict, solo version's okay, but the duet is better. Give that one a listen. This song is a Prince cover from his classic Purple Rain soundtrack, but let me ask this question. How did Dru Hill score a duet with Mariah, because Dru Hill was only one album deep at the time? And since it's a cover song, I am forbidden to talk about the content, but instead judge if it matches or overtake the original, and it doesn't. Mariah decided to slow the tempo down, making a 5-minute song drag into 7 minutes. I don't know whose idea was that, but that was not a good one. But I'll give Dru Hill some credit on the harmonies, but as is, just stick to the original. Last song on the album, and it's another personal cut. Mariah talks about her biracial upbringing and that being a struggle for her. So she uses her testimony to tell listeners who feel left out, alone, or alienated because of their status. Now I do have 2 nitpicks, and they're both very minor. One, it's another gospel element song, and those are typically not my thing. And 2, I thought she already made a song for the Outcasts. But those are just minor nitpicks, but it's a fine way to end an album. And that concludes this album review. I'll say this, we have 2 good Mariah albums in a row. This is our first true take on the transition of hip hop and R&B that will be influential in the early millennium. And let me also say that these are some of the best batch of ballads in this review cycle. So yes, we have another 8 out of 10 album, but slightly less than Daydream. Now for our next album, it's Rainbow, her final album on Columbia. And that concludes the Butterfly review. Tell me what y'all think in the comments below. What is your favorite song from this album? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.